Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Batters Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. You need an orthopedist, go to Brock, you need a roof, call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and Boatcock Brothers Premium Cigars. Use the code MAT15, MAT15, MAT15 for 15% off your order. All right, y'all, good morning. Hope your hump day's off to a great start. We get back into the flow of the week after the holiday for a lot of us on Monday. A lot of you on Monday. I worked. Was happy to. It's great doing a show on Monday after LSU beat Clemson. Speaking of which, because of the holiday, Brian Kelly and Dabo Swinney, their press conferences were on Tuesday this week. And Dabo took a little bit of a shot there at, I guess it's fair to say took a shot. Yeah, took a little bit of a shot at LSU. Maybe just not as gracious necessarily as he should have been. There's part of what he said that I agree with. The other part is just fundamentally absurd. Give a listen.
It's like getting the final exam day one of class. They made a 65, we made a 58. Neither one of us were great.
Brian Kelly took exception to that, clearly feeling his team was much better. Said maybe Dabo didn't see the second half. Maybe he didn't want to see the second half. It's interesting how winning alters people's realities of things. Like Brian Kelly, for example, does get criticized a lot. The national perception of him is that he's not liked, which is interesting to me because I like him a lot. Coaching, not like you can have your feeling about him as a coach, right? Can he win the big one? That's fair. I mean, that's just each their own. But I find him to be refreshing. He's honest. He'll answer questions. He will poke fun at himself. I think self-deprecating humor is a good thing when you can laugh at yourself. I think Dabo is the one that's really kind of it comes across to me as disingenuous. And that soundbite's a great example of it. Like, why do you have to say anything other than respectful things about the team that just came into your place and beat you? And it was like, the full clip there is he says, LSU's good, a talented team, they're going to be a problem for a lot of people. Like he says that, and then he follows it up with that soundbite. And in the first part of the soundbite, I get him saying it's like getting the final exam on the first day of class. There's some truth to that. I mean, those are two really good teams that are, going to be among the favorites to win their conferences, a couple of playoff teams. And that's a really tough game. And I salute both teams for taking it. Like the same with Notre Dame, Miami, and Alabama, Florida State, and South Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Ohio State, Texas, and like these teams that decided to go play these games when they could have played directional state U, challenged themselves. They gave their fans a good game and something to watch and something to look forward to. And that's a good thing. So like, that's great. But then when you come behind it and say what you said, it basically erases the good. So I don't know. I'm glad Brian Kelly clapped back the way he did. He could have just passed on the question and moved on. But he answered it and clapped back at Dabo. And I think sometimes people need to be body checked into the boards. Like when you're a kid, sometimes you need to have soap put on your tongue. Or go to timeout, whatever, Sometimes we need to be reminded, sometimes when you're the drunk moron in the bar being inappropriate to everybody, sometimes you sometimes Sometimes you need to be punched in the face. It's a reminder, hey, that's not okay. Not that I'm advocating violence. I think you understand the analogies I'm giving. Anyway, I was glad Brian Kelly body checked Dabo into the boards. He needed it. He needed that. Okay, we'll say some good mornings. Saints signed Jake Haener to the 53-man roster. So what a week for Jake Haener. He goes from being cut or waived to clearing waivers to being signed to the Saints practice squad. Now back to the 53-man roster, taking JT Gray's spot. Whatever. All right, let's say some good mornings here. Brian Wynn, good morning. Tiger Poppy, Kelly Gross, good morning. Thomas, Jalen, I got a profile pic change for this week. Okay, we'll look forward to it, Jalen. Bring it on, man. Ryan, AFR Monday, Pure Santa. Thank you. Never forget that what we do is still entertainment. A lot of people can read stats and talk about coverages and read PFF numbers. You got to entertain people. Beyond the Crown, good morning. Hey, Jerry. Go, what's up? Jerry Bailey. Saw Cowherd say that DeBoer is struggling because Bama is NIL poor. Seems like a cop-out to me. I'll tell you something. When you get physically dominated at the line of scrimmage the way they did, that's not NIL. That's culture. That's how you've chosen to build your roster. When you look at and I didn't hear what Cowherd said. I don't know what he said. So there may be context that you're missing. I would like to point out, so the blue chip ratio this year, remember, that is the percentage of your roster that are 4 and 5 stars. Okay. The number one team in America on the blue chip ratio, the Alabama Crimson Tide, tied with Ohio State, both at 89%, followed by Georgia at 84%, Texas A&M at 82%, Oregon and Texas at 78%, LSU Notre Dame at 73%. Please don't tell me they're NIL poor so they don't have a good roster. They got talent all over the roster. What Kalen DeBoer doesn't understand is building through the trenches. And even in the trenches, they return guys like Caden Proctor on the offensive line and Formby and these guys who've been starters there. And they got dominated by Florida State. So sometimes you can look yourself in the mirror and realize maybe you're not a great coach. Maybe your style works at North Dakota or whatever Kalen DeBoer was, or Fresno State or Washington. And, the thing that I said while he was at Washington, while everyone praised Kalen DeBoer when he was at Washington, the thing I pointed out over and over again was they had an undefeated season. Michael Penix was amazing, but let's not forget, they needed a plum miracle to beat Oregon the first time in Seattle. They had to kick a walk-off field goal against Washington State in the Apple Cup, and that was not a good Washington State team. In the playoff game against Texas in the Sugar Bowl, remember, they had a big lead, and then their coaching malpractice darn near gagged it away to where Texas had a pass into the end zone for a chance to win the game on the final play. I say it all the time, winning masked deficiencies. And they won a lot that year at Washington, and it masked a lot of the deficiencies of that coaching staff and that roster. You brought a dude in. Did you see the quote from DeBoer? I hope it's real. It was about how mean the fans were at Florida State. I'm like, what? Anyway. Hey, Abner, good morning. You do an incredible job. Thanks. Thank you, Abner. I appreciate it. Very kind of you to say. It's always nice to hear compliments, so thank you, Abner. Hey, Bradley, good morning. Bubba, Quentin, Thomas, Day 3. Can't believe I screwed it up. Enjoy the short video from Tuesday bashing Bama. So just for people who might be looking for it, was from Monday. It was from Monday's AFR. But yes, I did a full Bama is burning in studio, and then I did the short, which was the 2 minutes or so, me riding the horse and all that stuff. He's trying to save face with all the hype. Who's trying to save face with all the hype? Dabo Swinney. 65 minus 58 equals 7. Well done. Hey, Reed, good morning. Any other injuries beside Destin Hill? No. Tyree Adams limped off, but he went right back in like 2 plays later. So I think they're good. Dabo went Dumbo. Hey, Dale, good morning. Hit him straight, man. Silo, good morning. Living Lambo. Morning, Matt. Do you think LSU will try to redshirt Juwan Johnson, or is it full speed ahead? No. Brother, I think I will make a prediction for you. You want to write this down? You want to mark the tape? I'll make a prediction for you. Juwan Johnson will finish as LSU's second leading rusher this year. Glad Kelly put Big Mouth Dabo in his place. Me too. Hey, Jalen. Even though you snitched and thought you would win, yeah. Ronald, what do you think will happen to DeBoer if he wins 7-5 or less? The problem is he's got a $70 million buyout. And if Cowherd's out here saying that they're NIL poor, you really going to afford a $70 million buyout? And even if you do manage to scrape together $70 million to buy him out, you're going to turn around and hire someone for 12, 13 million bucks a year? It's expensive, man. Dabo, big dummy. Don't even think they'll win the ACC. I disagree with that, Thomas. I do think they're going to win the ACC. I know a lot of people were impressed with Miami. I was not as impressed. I think that's more. I think Notre Dame probably has some shortcomings, especially with a redshirt freshman quarterback in CJ Carr. I'm not saying Miami's bad. I think they're quite good. I still think Clemson is the class of the ACC. And I'm not sure what Florida State is. It was a very impressive win on Saturday. And maybe they'll be great. Like maybe that is a sign that they're going to be great this year. I don't know that I believe that wholly. But that was an impressive win. So I would still say Clemson is the class of the ACC and should win that league. Hey, Chance, I'm more excited to see our defense play. It's been a long time since that was the case. Morning, Scone. Look ahead to Tech. Is there anything you're looking forward to seeing? Well, just a couple of interesting things. I mean, Sonny Cumbie is their coach, and Cumbie is from the Texas Tech Mike Leach air raid era. I need to text Sonny. I should have done that. I should have done that earlier in the week about coming on the show. But anyway, he's so you're going to face a different type of challenge this week from the Tech offense. And then, if you remember Kobe Fields? Kobe Fields, who was a linebacker from New Orleans, I think at Rummel, who went to South Carolina, then transferred to LSU, was here for a year and left. Well, he's at Tech now, and he was their like conference defensive player of the year last year. So that's going to be a name to watch.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
All right. Shout out to Parrish Construction Roofing, parrishbuilt.com. Remember, the the application window for a fortified roofing grant is open right now, open yesterday through the 12th. So you go to the Louisiana Department of Insurance website to find out more or to enter or to register for that. And remember, you choose your contractor, so please choose Parrish Construction and Roofing. Hey, this Friday, it's the Brock Friday Night Clinic. It returns all the way through November the 7th, every Friday during the football season, 9 to 11. It's free orthopedic care for high school athletes, football, band, dance, cheer. Everybody's welcome. So skip the ER, long wait times, high costs, none of that. It's totally free. Walk-ins are welcome. No appointment needed. That's at the Brock on Bluebonnet. And the after hours clinic, of course, is open nights and weekends. So always thank you and shout out to our friends over at Brock. brortho.com. Okay. Here we go. Back to the spot. There we go. Patrick Gummalligan. Not sure what more we could have done to get the number one ranking. Our win was the best current top four teams. Yeah. Ohio State beat the number one team, the previous number one team. It's fine. Jeff Hawk, what up, my dude? Hope you're doing well, man. Hey, Keith, have you seen the Bama fans on Paul Feinbaum's show in a full meltdown? I have not. I'm on during Feinbaum's show at the same time, and so I never really get to watch, listen. I don't know that I would anyway, but no, I did not. Stewart. Okay. Matt woke up and chose violence. I'm not happy with the singing. What's singing? Robbie, morning. Thoughts on Bill Belichick's college coaching debut? I don't think he's regretting leaving the NFL. He couldn't get an NFL job. 2 NFL coaching cycles passed and he didn't get hired. So he took a college job because he wants to coach. I'm a little surprised it went the way it did. They paid him $10 million. They paid his GM, Michael Lombardi, $1.5 million. They supposedly committed a lot of NIL funds to build that roster, and to get absolutely waxed by TCU was surprising. I do think there'll be a playoff, or not playoff. I do think there'll be a bowl team this year. It'll be interesting to see how much they might be able to improve from week 1 to the end of the year. Glenn, good morning. You have an RC as a guest this week. We had RC booked last Wednesday, and scheduling conflict, and he couldn't make it at the last minute. But I haven't talked to him this week to book. I just RC schedule is. I mean, I'm a busy person who keeps a pretty full calendar. His involves a ton of travel too, which makes it sometimes even more complex. So I try not to. It'd be different if he was in town every week and was hanging out. It's just he's always on the go, so I try not to bother him. I'll get him at some point. Hey, Don. Dabo's point was that neither team is at their best yet. He added that LSU will improve a lot as the season goes, hence the grade. That's how I understand it. Heard live. I watched it. I know what he said. When he said they got a 65, we got a 58. Neither team was great. Talk about your own team. Talk about your own. There was the way the question was phrased was, how would you grade your team's performance after Saturday? And then he brought in LSU. He was like, neither team was great. Don't talk about the other team that beat you. What do you expect the reaction to be when you do that? Hey, Ben, did you commit to a pool jump if LSU beat Clemson and Florida State beat Bama? I don't think so. If I did, I absolutely will. I think we talked about a pool jump, like if they make the playoff or something like that. Anyway, I won't show the profile pic. It's you in Florida State. Dylan Landry, what's up? Christian just finished Locked On. This is the most I've ever liked. Matt, great show, man. Appreciate it, man. I don't know which. Oh, you must have. Okay, you must have just finished the one that. So I gave you a bonus episode yesterday, speaking specifically. So I did a bonus Locked On last night, which was speaking specifically on the Brian Kelly Dabo thing, and I talked about the comments he made, but I more so talked about the perception of Brian Kelly in the second half of the episode. So I think you might enjoy that if you're interested. So that's there. And then today's episode is live now as well, if you want to check that out. And I went through a bunch. I went through Destin Hill's injury, Ashton Stamps not playing, Brian Kelly admitting he should have kicked the field goal on 4th down, 4th and 2. Brian Kelly saying they got the call right on the Berrien Brown play. He did have a conversation with John McDade, the SEC coordinator of officials. He went through the whole thing. So kind of talked about that a little bit. And I absolutely dunked on Clemson media because Walker Parks didn't play. Remember, y'all remember Walker Parks? This guy, Walker Parks, this guy.
Questions? Walker Parks, is he? Oh, he'd be all right. He'd be all right. He'd be good to go. He didn't go today. We held him today, but he'd be all right. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't play. Didn't play in the game. That was 2 weeks ago when I crushed Clemson media for not asking a follow-up to that question. And they were all like, oh, he told us he'll be all right. Told us he'll play. Anyway, you should check out today's episode. Let's see. Paul, good morning, Matt. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Paul. Let's see. I disagree with Brian and Berrien and Harbor. Oh, okay. Got it. Harbor TBD the same. Harbor left his feet, has to maintain possession if he goes to the ground. Berrien didn't, took a step, made a football move. The thing about Berrien's is, so I understand your point. Nick Harbor was he's talking about South Carolina receiver Nick Harbor, who was in the end zone. But he did come down with a foot in bounds. I understand your point about Berrien Brown. The question that I think they have is, with Brown, did he ever establish himself as a runner in bounds? And I think what they're saying is he got a foot in bounds and then hit the pylon and went out of bounds. He never established in bounds as a runner. That's what they're saying. I mean, I'm with you, but that's the explanation. And I guess by the letter of the explanation, it's correct. I think it's absurd. We're in agreement on that. Robbie, let's see. Now that the NFL season's about to start, do you have a Super Bowl prediction? Who do you think will win it all? Yeah, I'm going to keep picking the Bengals until they do. It's not a homer bet. It's the fact that when Joe Burrow should have been the MVP of the league last year. He was the best player in the NFL last season. His team didn't win enough because the defense wasn't very good. But eventually, when you have the best quarterback in the league, he's going to break through. So I'm going to keep picking the Bengals until they get there and do. I know everyone's going to pick the Eagles. I think it's just so hard to do what Kansas City's done and go to 3 straight Super Bowls. The 49ers are probably a trendy pick as well. But they certainly had a disappointing season a year ago, and I think a lot of the core of that roster that was built that went to those 2 Super Bowls under Jimmy G and Purdy, a lot of that core is aging and or gone. I am going to be fascinating to see. Remember, Dabo Samuel is no longer in San Francisco as well. He's in Washington. So Washington now has re-signed Terry McLaurin, and they've got Dabo Samuel to go along with Jaden Daniels. In the division with the Eagles, so it's very difficult. But Washington was in the NFC Championship game a year ago. And it's not a crazy thought. Eagles, Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, Lions, Packers, Commanders, Bengals, Niners, Rams, Vikings, Texans, Broncos. I mean, the other team that it's hard to trust them after last season, but Detroit had the best record in football last year. And Jaden spanked them in the playoffs in their building. But Detroit is probably not a bad pick. Like, if I had to make my pick, I'd probably go Bengals Lions. We need to do that today on the show, so I need to make a decision. Hey, Brad, who do you think's the best of the big three Florida schools? Miami this year, I think. Rex, people trying to blame Bama's fall in NIL is BS. LSU's full of NIL players, all playing with heart. I think what they're saying is Bama didn't spend enough in NIL, like to get the right players, I think is what they're saying. Eric, good morning. Maybe the most glaring issue Saturday was our pooch punt game. Did you notice struggles with this at camp? No, they practiced it a bunch. And honestly, the one on the second to last possession, I guess going into the last possession, was a great kick. And PJ Woodland had it and just bobbled the ball, went in the end zone. I mean, he should have been down at the 3. Hey, Robert, headed to Baton Rouge this morning for a meeting. Any suggestions on lunch anywhere around Segan Lane? Segan. Depends what you want to eat. You could always go to French Market Bistro on Highland, which is between Segan and I-10. Always a good spot. All the stuff on Segan between I-10 and Airline is just kind of, it's like chains. There's a Burger Smith over there, which is good. What am I missing, y'all? Help me out. I don't think there's any restaurants on the other side. If you want to go up Perkins, I mean, you can go into Willow Grove. They've got like Pizza Byron's there. Yeah, just seldom over there anymore. Like around that area for lunch. Someone's got a recommendation. Shout them out. Try telling you Stamps wouldn't be the inside corner if they went 3 DBs. Hopefully he wins his job back. It was interesting about Woodland because, and Woodland played the boundary. I'll tell you his exact. Oh, it's 7-16. God, I got to go. I want to finish this convo because I do find that really interesting because of, and I plan to go back through my notes to look at all the times that Stamps was with the ones, and I want to dive into that because I think there's more to this because I think this was probably matchup specific. Stamps is going to play and is going to play a lot. But I think a giant part of the story, of course, is PJ Woodland's emergence. I remember I was listening off the bench, and Hester and Flynn don't get a chance to go out to practice because the availability was while they're on air. But Taylor Sharp would come out to some of the practices, and there was one time where they were talking. He was mentioning the DBs, and he left out Woodland. I texted him, I was like, "Hey, bro, you need to mention Woodland because like he's getting reps with the ones," and he was. And sure enough, now I thought for certain Stamps was going to start. I mean, I'm not mincing words. I thought your starters were going to be Stamps and Delane, with Pickett being the next guy in. And Woodland as a nickel, which Woodland will, by the way, Woodland will play nickel. I think Woodland, going long, God dog it. Now I'm in it. Hang on. I'll tell you exactly where PJ Woodland lined up. Hang on. I'll tell you exactly a snap count where he lined up. So PJ Woodland played 2 snaps in the box, 9 in the slot, 32 at wide. Then he played some special teams as well. 2 punt, coverage, 2 punt return, 3 on field goal point extra block. So he played twice in the box and 9 in the slot. So 11 of his snaps. So about a third of his snaps came at the line or in the box or in the slot. So, I mean, he's going to play there. But a lot of that's just going to depend on circumstances. Anyway, I got to go. I'm sorry. It's already 7:18. I got to go. Thanks so much for being here. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. All of our sponsors, link to the description on YouTube. They're tagged on Facebook. Locked on LSU is live. I gave you a bonus episode last night, plus your new episode today. So please, please, please go listen to or watch both of them. I'd appreciate it greatly. And we'll see you for AFR 3